Okay, everybody, how are we doing today? So here's a story that I think is going to freak some of you out. It certainly makes me uncomfortable thinking about it. Five Eyes Security Alliance calls for access to encrypted material. Article from Reuters. The U.S.-led Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance said on Tuesday that tech firms must allow law enforcement agencies access to encrypted material, warning that failing to do so put people at risk. At risk of what? Exactly. Why should they have access to encrypted material? You do realize it's encrypted for a reason, for the sake of privacy and safety. These are often the kind of excuses that are used to excuse things like the Patriot Act or other similar legislation. But let's continue. After a two-day summit in London, senior ministers from the group comprising the United States and allies Britain, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand said encryption should not come at the expense of the public's safety. We are concerned where companies deliberately design their systems in a way that precludes any form of access to content, even in cases of the most serious crimes, the group said in a statement following the conference. Tech companies should include mechanisms in the design of their encrypted products and services whereby governments, acting with appropriate legal authority, can obtain access to data in a readable and usable format. The five English-speaking allies have an agreement to share intelligence and techniques for gathering it, a relationship that evolved from a secret World War II alliance between British and U.S. cipher and code-breaking teams. Encrypted data makes it harder for spies to pry. Western governments have said this can complicate investigations and prosecutions of those involved in child sex abuse or terrorism. However, tech firms have warned that putting backdoors into their systems to allow the authorities access would weaken security and make them more vulnerable to attacks from criminals or foreign states. The Five Eyes are united that tech firms should not develop their systems and services, including end-to-end encryption, in ways that empower criminals or put vulnerable people at risk, said British Home Secretary Priti Patel. Again, how is this any different than the excuses made by George W. Bush and Donald Rumsfeld? This is the exact same song and dance, only we've replaced the target from terrorists to criminals hiding behind shields of protection. It's the same old crap. It's the sort of security theater and fear-mongering that our government and the British government have become famous for. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. If you sacrifice freedom for safety, how did it go? If you sacrifice freedom for security, you will have neither. U.S. President Donald Trump's Attorney General William Barr, him again, attracted controversy last week when he complained about how the proliferation of warrant-proof encryption was making it easier for criminals to evade detection. Citation needed. Encryption presents a unique challenge. We must ensure that we do not stand by as advances in technology create spaces where criminal activity of the most heinous kind can go undetected and unpunished, Barr said after the security summit. Britain's Home Office said that the tech industry, which took part in a roundtable with ministers, agreed to collaborate with the Five Eyes on a set of voluntary principles, which will be drawn up by the end of the September on steps to combat child sex abuse, including the growing threat of live streaming. Live streaming is a growing threat. Yeah, I just don't see how this couldn't be what I've already said that it is. It's an excuse to pass more toxic authoritarian legislation. Sort of like a Patriot Act-esque situation. And this Five Eyes group could be either A, an organization secretly founded and funded by one or more governments without the public's knowledge, B, some kind-hearted but ultimately misguided fools who think they're doing a good thing but don't know any better, or C, the Five Eyes are hackers who want access to personal information and are using legislation to get the job done. Now, you might think I'm being paranoid and creating a worst-case scenario, but trust me, do you know these people? How do you know that I'm wrong? You don't. You can't. Why take the risk? This is the typical excuse when toxic authoritarians in politics simply want to spy on you in order to do things like loyalty tests and checking for unpatriotic attitudes, like freaking McCarthyism, the Council on Un-American Activities, Meiji-era Japan, need I say more? Anyway,